Hey there folks, I'm back. Sorry for the inactivity. It's been a busy week. It really has. Anyway, just to give you a brief announcement, I'm going to be going by the formal anime reviewer when I'm reviewing anime, and when I'm not reviewing anime, I'm going to be going as the informal movie reviewer. So, if you can't guess already, because I'm not in a nice suit and shirt and tie, I am now the informal movie reviewer, and today I'm going to quickly review 3 movies for you. Today I'm going to look at How to Lose Friends and Alienate People, Ghost Town, and An American Carol. I apologize for going through these movies so quickly, but I have a dinner date in about a half hour, and I got a family event going on later tonight, and tomorrow's shot, and the rest of my week is going to be shot also. So if I don't do this now, I'm never going to be able to do it. So moving on along to How to Lose Friends and Alienate People. How to Lose Friends and Alienate People stars Simon Pegg and Kirsten Dunst. Simon Pegg plays lead character as a British paparazzi-like figure hired by a New York high-profile glamour magazine to get stories on famous celebrities. Unfortunately, his style is more of a cut your opponent off at the knees rather than do anything actually good. At least that's what the synopsis of the story is. If you look at the previews, you'd think that this would be a comedy about this guy trying to upset the high society of New York and Hollywood, and basically make fun of a whole bunch of celebrities. And really, it doesn't come off as that. Unfortunately, what it comes off as is pretty much a crude romp. I'm sorry to say it. I really was not impressed by a lot of the humor in there. There were some funny moments, there really were. Okay, the whole scene with the Chihuahua was funny as hell. Okay, you've seen the previews, Chihuahua's in the office, he's playing ball with it. That scene was really funny, but unfortunately, this series does not keep with that style of humor. It generally devolves into a lewd, crude, rude college humor that this sort of movie could have risen above. To give an example, he gets upset by one of his bosses because his boss stole a great idea of his. So to get him back, he hires a transvestite to do a strip dance for him. Now the boss doesn't know this guy is a transvestite, okay? He starts going along with it, and kind of finds out a little too late when the transvestite strips off its bottom and reveals that, yeah. And at the same time, I believe the man's wife and daughters come in and witness this whole thing, okay? Now, they really did not have to go that far, okay? They could have just had this person come in, okay, do a dance in a bikini, alright, and have the mother and daughters come in, and would have had the same effect, okay? Instead, it goes a step further and decides to flash a penis, okay? Sorry, Hollywood, penises are not funny. They really aren't. What the hell is with you guys, okay? I have a penis. I don't find it that funny. Lots of guys don't find penises funny. Okay? You don't need to sink to that level. You really don't. And sadly, that's what brings the movie down a whole lot. Okay? That, and they try to put a love story in there that was really awkward. It just, I mean, Kristen Dunst and Simon Pegg just aren't the best couple. Okay? They just aren't, really. So, this is a movie that had a lot of potential, had a chance to just make fun of a whole bunch of different people, but instead, they chose to go for the college crowd, the 18 to 21 dorm room people that laugh at oh, I don't know, Squidbillies and Tim and Eric Awesome Show off on Adult Swim, which are some of the most retarded shows out there. Bottom line, How to Lose Friends and Alienate People, not worth it. I would recommend have a friend rent it, have your friend waste the money, and then just go and see it off of your friend if you really have to see this movie. Okay, that's my recommendation. I give it 2.5 out of 5 stars. Our second movie, Ghost Town, stars Ricky Gervais, Téa Leoni, and Greg Kinnear, and it's actually funnier than the last movie I just reviewed here. If you haven't seen the preview for this movie, Ricky Gervais plays an antisocial dentist that ends up dying during a simple operation, comes back to life, and is now able to see the dearly departed, which trouble him with their various needs and wants. First off, I have to say that Ricky Gervais is a wonderful actor and does a very good job playing a prick in this movie here. When you see him, he's very antisocial, doesn't like to be around people, and he's funny. He comes off with a really good humor, a good smile when he actually does show it. And it's funny when he actually starts seeing the ghost and he starts running away. He starts freaking out because he sees some of these people get hit by cars, and he wonders, how the hell did they survive? Oh my gosh! It's funny to watch his reactions to a lot of the things that happen with the ghost. This movie ends up turning into a romantic comedy between Ricky Gervais and Téa Leoni as the story progresses, and fortunately, it doesn't get stupid. I mean, there are some issues with between the two there, especially when Téa Leoni's husband, dead husband, I should say, Greg Kinnear, gets mixed in. But fortunately, this doesn't sink to a crude level. There was a couple penis jokes in there. I know I just went on a rant about penis jokes, but thankfully, this did not go any cruder than that. Okay, so you'll find the humor in this one very subtle. Okay, this is not a blatant, out loud comedy. This is one where you have to pay attention to what's being said, because some of the comments that are made will go over your head if you're not listening a little too carefully. And I have to say, this is also one of those movies where it generally stays funny throughout the movie. Okay, as with too many comedies, you'll find that it'll be funny in the very beginning, and then maybe a couple laughs in the middle, and then maybe at the end you'll get one last hurrah. This one manages to keep a decent pace as the story progresses. It's not the best. Okay, I've seen better comedies, okay, better paced comedies, but this one does a very good job in at least making sure that you continue to laugh throughout the movie instead of just getting a couple ha-has and, okay, that's kind of funny in the dry period of the middle. But even so, like I said, a lot of the humor in this is very subtle, okay? So if you're going to go there and expect to just be laughing your butt off, you're really not, okay? This is more of a quiet chuckle movie, okay? One that you could watch with your girlfriend, not be nervous or embarrassed about some of the jokes in here. So overall, though, I do recommend Ghost Town, but I would recommend it as a rental or as a early matinee showing. I wouldn't recommend it as a full price. It just doesn't have enough of the steam a lot of other comedies do to keep the laughs going strong throughout. Sorry, my camera stopped working. Overall, I give this movie 3.5 out of 5 stars. The last movie I'm going to talk about is An American Carol, which opened last Friday and stars too many people for me to list, but among the major ones, Kelsey Grammer, John Voight, and I think Kevin Farley is the guy's name. This one is a takeoff of A Christmas Carol, but instead replaces Scrooge with a Michael Moore character and the ghost with American heroes. I'm going to first say this about this movie. If you are liberal or think towards the left spectrum of politics, you will not enjoy this movie. Okay, this is not a liberal movie. This is primarily a conservative comedy. That being said, I would say that even some conservatives would find the humor in this a little light or not enough. Okay, so if you're gonna go watch this movie, okay, keep in mind that this was produced by a bunch of conservatives in Hollywood, okay, and intended to poke fun at the left of politics, okay? If you go in realizing that, you should be able to laugh your ass off, just like I did. The director of this movie, David Zucker, of Airplane and Scary Movie 3 and 4 fame, okay, you're a fucking genius when it comes to this, okay? You really are. Alright, I have to say that this was one of the best laughs I've ever had in a long time, okay? And I'm going to say this is probably the funniest movie of the year, okay? And as with the other two comedies I was discussing, this one actually keeps the laughs strong going through the movie. There's a scene halfway through there where they're dealing about the ACLU. I'm not going to say anything more about it. You have to see how they portray the ACLU. It is funny as hell. Okay, I was laughing so hard that I was afraid that that the people around me were going to kick my ass. Okay, I really was. That whole scene, the whole scene with oh man, Rosie O'Connell on the show there, and the radical Christians instead of the radical jihadists. Those are some of the funniest things I've ever seen in a movie before. Really, if you have to see this movie, okay, to understand what I'm talking about and just appreciate the humor that such a great comedy can bring. I really can't say any more about this movie because I don't want to ruin all the laughs for you, but I give it 4 out of 5 stars, and I highly recommend it. Go see it in theaters. It is well worth the admission price. Anyway, I'm sorry about the quick shot reviews here. Okay, next time I will devote a little bit more time to what I'm reviewing. Like I said, it's going to be a while before I actually have a chance to sit down and actually do a full-blown review, and I don't really want to disappear off the face of the earth or give the impression that I am. Anyway, I gotta get going. I'm gonna be late here, so peace out. Bye.